deputies say what they did this morning in pretending to be a news crew was fair, given that they rescued a 2-month-old baby who was being held hostage inside this home. Meanwhile, as American generals plot a course for conquering Iraq, there's an Augusta school laying out its own war plan. Within days, Eric and Lauren became part of the National Missing and Exploited Children Database, which often features lost children on Walmart. They are under the age of 6 and the most likely to become victims of lead or arsenic poisoning. In each case, the approach has been the same. 2 men approach a house inquiring about doing basic repairs. Tom, I want to show you something eerie. There was a time during yesterday's fire where the Bath Fire Department was trying to knock down this blaze when everything seemed to stop. Take a look at them. I can tell you, Tom, that FAA investigators have just arrived on the scene. She failed to mention to me that out of that hole,
the snake and the rats.
The snakes and the rats. I certainly would have not put my hand down there.
Joanne, what a great day. You're a lifesaver today. Should name the cat after you.
No, I think he has a more appropriate name in Blessed Baby, because surely it was a blessing that I didn't know that snakes and rats were in the hole.
All right, well, that's a story with a happy ending. We're happy about that. Joanne Lochard saving a cat for us today.
I have a God that takes care of me day by day. And I knew he was watching me, and he was telling me what to do.
Barbara Mitchell is still very shaken from what happened at this Bank of America on Edgefield Road. Her good sense is why 23-year-old Richard Quiller is in custody today.
Barbara Mitchell says she thought nothing of it when she saw Richard Quiller and another young man walking up and down the secluded driveway. That is, until Quiller came to her door with a .22 caliber handgun.
While the other man wanted in this case left in a black car, Quiller, whose family lives up the road, forced Mitchell into her car to go to the bank. When Quiller, who is described as dim-witted, allowed Mitchell to go inside the bank alone, she immediately told tellers what was going on.
I said, ma'am, it's a man in my car. He had a gun on me. And he's forcing me to come in and get $3,000. I said, please call 911.
Sure enough, found him in the car, in the victim's car, still at gun, with the gun, with gloves and ready to go.
But the only place Quiller is going is to the Aiken County Jail, where he can choose any one of these faces for his mugshot.
2 Martinez families spent the day making funeral arrangements. They are preparing for 2 young men killed in a single-car accident over the weekend. They are among the many wondering if a girl's decision to ignore Georgia's teen driving rules cost 2 lives. This is all that's left of a fiery crash that killed 2 Evans High School students. News 12 was the only crew there as Columbia County deputies responded to the crash site at William Few Parkway. It was just after midnight Sunday morning. 16-year-old Jennifer McElmurray was driving when she lost control at a turn. She was slightly injured in the crash, but her passengers, 16-year-old Keith Krogman and 17-year-old Brad Thornton, were pronounced dead on the scene. It's quite obvious this was a violent crash scene. Parts of the car still remain here, as does the lingering smell of gasoline. According to an accident report, McElmurray admits she was driving too fast.
We just got back from making the funeral arrangements.
We showed Mrs. Thornton the accident report. She says Jennifer McElmurray, who was less than 4 months past her 16th birthday, had driven with the boys late night before.
You know, you think it's going to happen to somebody else and not you. I learned the hard way it can happen to you.
But late-night driving is against Georgia's Teen and Adult Driver Responsibility Act. With her Class D license, McElmurray could not drive between 12 a.m. and 6 a.m., nor was she allowed to have passengers who were not related to her for the first 6 months. News 12 went to McElmurray's home to ask why she was driving against the rules. No one answered the door, but we were able to make contact by telephone. Jennifer's mother refused to talk to us about the accident, but she did say, quote, "We are still grieving. We're very sorry for the loss of the 2 boys and would like to extend our condolences personally to the 2 families." But neither Brad's nor Keith's families are prepared to accept those condolences. They say Jen's decision to break the rules has broken their hearts. As of our deadline, the results of Jennifer McElmurray's alcohol sobriety tests are still pending, as are the charges that will be filed against her. Well, it's the second day of a police standoff at a home near Orangeburg. Deputies say a man who may be armed has barricaded himself inside of his girlfriend's home.
And now she and her child...
Well, the Coast Guard says that you ought to be careful near the Savannah River. It's stronger than normal. Heavy rains over the last few weeks have caused the river's current to move faster. Now, last week, the Army Corps of Engineers opened Lake Thurman's gates, causing the current to strengthen. The gates are closed now, but the current is still stronger than usual. Boaters are still speeding through marinas, though, and those moving too fast are making waves that can damage boats and injure people standing near the docks.
It's like having a mini earthquake every 20 minutes.
The Coast Guard says river levels rise and fall every day. Safety jackets are a must, but tonight at 6, boaters can learn how anchors may be even more important. Well, speaking of the weather, no more rain, I hope, at least for a while.
Good to see the sunshine and blue sky today.
Some high-ranking South Carolina lawmakers gathered in North Augusta today to take a tour of the Palmetto Parkway. Governor Mark Sanford was part of that group. They are eager to see the construction on Interstate 520. This project will create a direct connection to Interstate 20. The total estimated cost is $143 million. Phase 1 is already complete, with Phase 2 currently underway. Well, they can be famous, powerful, and talented. Will your child grow up to be a left-hander?
Today in Good Parenting, Joe
A
Rogers
9-year-old
has some
California girl is back home today after being kidnapped Friday.
And now police have a potential suspect
The
already.
FBI have drained Marilyn Pond in search of evidence. Federal agents are looking for clues that might shed light on the 2001 anthrax attacks. The Washington Post is reporting that items recovered from a pond last winter could have been used to protect a person from airborne bacteria. The anthrax attacks killed 5 people and sickened 13 others who were infected from anthrax-laced mail. It's not the latest Harry Potter novel, but a former First Lady that's got these folks lined up outside of a New York City bookstore just before midnight. The first 250 customers got Hillary Rodham Clinton's autograph on their book called Living History. The memoir is on sale today and focuses on her 8 years in the White House, including the Monica Lewinsky scandal. In our hot button web poll, we asked you, do you plan to read Hillary Rodham Clinton's book? 28% of you say yes, 72% say an emphatic no. Cast your vote at WRDW.com. Coming up, walking can be easy, at least an easier way to exercise.
But it's a lot lately. Americans just aren't active enough.
And it may not just be a case of laziness. This tops our Health Team 12 daily checkup. The Surgeon General recommends everybody get 30 minutes of exercise a day, which could be a brisk 1.5 to 2 mile walk. But experts know the design of your community could also be a major factor as to why you don't walk much. Many people live in areas that discourage walking or bicycling. Now, if you want to see how walkable your neighborhood is, you can simply log on to this website. It is www.rwjf.org. Medicare is expanding coverage, and that could help people with heart problems. More people will qualify for ICDs, devices that could be implanted to help people with a history of heart attacks. The stopwatch-sized device can detect abnormal heart rhythms and shock the heart back into its normal pace. ICDs cost about $25,000 apiece. The kind of music you listen to may say more about you than you think. A new study says blues, jazz, and classical music fans may be considered intelligent, tolerant, and liberal. Country and religious music fans tend to be cheerful, outgoing, reliable, and conventional. Alternative and heavy metal music lovers tend to be physically active and curious. And rap, hip-hop, and R&B dance music fans are often outgoing, agreeable people. The study appears in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. Now, for more information on personality or any Health Team 12 topic, all you have to do is go onto our website at WRDW.com and click on the Fast Health icon, and I fall into a number of those categories.
I do too. I fit too many of the categories to be
It's all
defined.
good stuff.
I guess.
This is the sound that greets you when you first enter the detention center. It's a high-stress environment for all.
Well, anytime you've got an overcrowded condition like this, of course, you got a lot of fresh arrest people, and you know they don't want to be here, and then you got staff here that's actually staffed to house so many people, and they're stretched out.
And Major Dan Edwin's stress level has risen ever higher since a former inmate, an anonymous corrections officer, and even a 16-year-old girl told News 12 about all kinds of allegations of abuse and mismanagement. And even while on this tour, inmates leveled still more charges. The detention center has asked that we not show you any of the inmates' faces. And then this inmate steps forward, his right eye black and blue.
But what happened? Who beat up the last? I was over there. Hey, hold on, man. Let me talk to him. I was over there for 4 months. Somebody hit me out. Hold on, man. Hold on, man. Somebody over there hit me for no reason. I told the guards and asked to get the guy out of there. You know what I'm saying? And they put me over here, Dunbar, threatened to manhandle me into a detox cell.
What do you have to say about what the inmates were telling us? One man says that he warned an officer that he'd be beaten up, and instead of helping him, the officer, he says, threatened to put him in the hole.
He also stated that he was beaten up in another area, and he was talking to you from another area. So what the officer did, they moved that person and put him in another area and separated him from that individual.
And that's what's supposed to be done?
That's policy, correct.
What should we keep in mind when we look at this and hear inmate complaints?
Well, basically, you got to realize that, yes, we are overcrowded. There's no question about that. Yes, they're packed up in there. You know, we've got Department of Corrections coming in to inspect us periodically. They coming in anytime we get complaints. So, I mean, we don't hide anything. We were trying to cover up anything, we wouldn't let you in here.
And shock the heart back into its normal pace. ICDs cost about $25,000 apiece. The kind of music you listen to may say more about you than you think. A new study says blues, jazz, and classical music fans may be considered intelligent, tolerant, and liberal. Country and religious music fans tend to be cheerful, outgoing, reliable, and conventional. Alternative and heavy metal music lovers tend to be physically active and curious. And rap, hip-hop, and R&B dance music fans are often outgoing, agreeable people. The study appears in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. Now, for more information on personality or any Health Team 12 topic, all you have to do is go onto our website at WRDW.com and click on the Fast Health icon, and I fall into a number of those categories.
I do too. I fit too many of the categories to be defined.
It's all good stuff.